Hi there, it's Lucia at Lushspaces, and in this video I want to talk about more about the unusual shapes of gardens. So, another way of looking at problematic shapes is to turn the unusual shape or size of the garden to your advantage, to create a design that stands out from the others. And what was once a difficult area to fill in will now become the object of envy of your neighbors or other gardeners because of its originality. So make sure you watch along because I'm about to show you different solutions and tips on how to deal with unusual shapes and more problematic spaces. So this plan shows a design that is based on circular theme. And be sure to watch my other garden design videos from the playlist because we have talked about different themes regarding circular, diagonal and also rectangular in a different videos, so make sure you watch that. So the paved area that you are looking at near the house can be used as a patio, and the one that is on the far end, for example, can be used for drying the washing because it's quite away from the house. Alternatively, if the end of the garden receives more sun, then you can change the roles of the patios. And by taking the connecting path across the garden at an angle and using small trees or large shrubs to prevent the eye going straight along to the side, you create the impression of a garden that can be explored. Another long and narrow garden, this time based on the diagonal lines. This garden uses the diagonals to divide the garden into sections, but the objective is the same as in the circle design. So it avoids a straight path from one end of the garden to the other, and it brings the beds towards the center to produce quite a mini gardens. So if your garden is long as well as pointed or tapered to the point, you can consider screening off the main area, leaving a gateway or arch to create the impressions of more beyond, while not really relieving the actual shape. And in this plan, the narrowing area has been used as an orchard, but it could be a vegetable garden, for example. So by staggering the three paved areas with small changes of level, for example, it adds interest and it prevents the garden looking too long or too boring. And at the same time, the long view has been retained to give the impressions of a size. Corner sides are often quite much larger than other plots in the road, and usually they offer scope for some interesting designs. This one, for example, has been planned to make the most of the extra space at the side of the house, which has become the main feature rather than the more usual back or front areas. So small and square sides like this offer little scopes for elaborate designs. So the best idea is to keep to a few simple elements. To give the impression of greater space, the viewpoint has been angled diagonally across the garden for this design. For additional interest, the timber decking is slightly raised, creating a change of level. In a tiny garden, a small lawn can be quite difficult to cut, but you could try an alternative to grass, for example, a chamomile or thyme, which only need mowing infrequently. And when we're looking at this plan, a variety of styles have been used here. A combination of diagonals and circles, both of which counter the basic rectangle of the garden itself. Curved corner gardens are more difficult to design effectively. And in this plan, the house is surrounded by a patio on the left-hand side, and the low wall actually partitions the patio from the rest of the garden, so it's making it more private. For additional interest, the drive is separated from the gravel garden by a path. And gravel and boulders that are punctuated by striking plants such as phormiums or yuccas, for example, effectively marry the straight edges with the bold curve created by the corner side. L-shaped gardens are quite common, but they do offer plenty of scope. Even in a small garden, the opportunity to walk around and explore the area that cannot be seen from one place is a considerable plus point. And this plan shows the clever use of focal points. So the tree seat and the seat at the far end, creating a reason to explore the garden. The patio area is partially covered with overhead beams and also separated from the rest of the garden by raised flower beds. So there you have it, a few more solutions on how to deal with your problematic sites and designs. If you did have issues, hopefully now you have a little bit more of an idea. So I hope it was helpful. Let me know how you're getting on, or if you do have any ideas for any other videos. And in the meantime, please like the video if you have, and also consider subscribing. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.